Welcome back to Veterans Forum, a program by veterans, about veterans, for veterans and their families. I'm your co-host, Bob West, with Ray Chattery and Jerry Devlin. And our goal is to provide you important information that's useful to you and your family by interviewing important people in our community on legislation, benefits, support, and activities. Jerry, who do we have with us today?
We're really honored tonight to have the first national commander of a major veterans organization. That is the American Veterans, which is popularly known as AMVET. And Larry Vai is the national commander, and he came all the way up from Naples to join us. And that, of course, was because we told him that this show would be broadcast coast to coast, and it will, from Allen Pond to Fox Hill Lake. Larry has had a very, very distinguished career, both privately and in veterans organizations. He's gone up through all the chairs in the AMVETs. I think he joined in the late 1990s, 1998 or so, and is the national chairman. And the AMVETs, we're very proud to say, has their national headquarters here in Lanham, so there's a special tie. But Larry is an Army veteran, served 8 years in the early days of the Vietnam conflict, and has had a long and distinguished career in all kinds of activities. We're really honored, Bob and Ray, to have him here with us tonight.
Yeah, welcome, Larry.
Thank you.
We certainly haven't had very many national commanders here on our program, so I guess we're moving up in the ratings. Yeah. Why don't you tell our listeners about the AMVETs, because that's we're used to the VFW, the American Legion, Marine Corps League, and the DAV, and the AMVETs we know is out there. It's just we're not as familiar.
Well, we, unlike the VFW and the American Legion, accept anyone who served honorably in any branch of the service, including the
peacetime period?
in the Reserve and National Guard. Anyway, we have a lot of members that have served honorably, are very decorated veterans, and we also have some that served in other countries during the Vietnam War, but they served the call and they served wherever they were needed. So we need to honor them along with all of the war veterans. So that's what we do.
So your membership is actually much broader than many of our other service organizations.
Yes, that's correct.
And you were founded just after World War II?
We were actually formed in 1941, and we were chartered in 43 as the AMVETs of World War II, and then they expanded it to AMVETs World War II and Korea, and then later we included, we dropped the World War II and the Korea and just call it AMVETs.
And what is the national programs like that the AMVETs have for veterans, for example?
Well, we do the same as all the rest of the veterans organizations. Last year, every year our commander has a commander's project. And last year the project was to fund the replacement of the memorial wall at the Arizona Memorial in Hawaii, the Pearl Harbor Memorial. And you know, it's a great undertaking. We did the original one in the early 60s, and then we replaced it in 1984, and we replaced it last year. And it's a cost to us and our donors of about $350,000. And the 1,177 names are on that memorial wall. And you will see that they've also added recent names to a separate plaque. And these are the people that wish to be buried there along with their fellow shipmates that were killed in the original attack on Pearl Harbor.
So the marble is replaced and all the names are re-engraved on?
Yes.
Does the marble come from the original location?
It comes from the same place that the tombstones come from in Maine. And the salt water, and actually they say that the vapors from the ship lying in the water, you know, it's bubbling oil and fuel and everything all the time. And they say with the vapors and the salt air that it deteriorates, it gets brown veins in it and so on. So we have had to replace it every 20 years, actually.
So that's a national project of the
For
AMVET.
AMVETs. And our name is engraved in there also.
And I was there a few weeks ago and saw it.
Yes. And we rededicated it on Veterans Day.
Do you have any other national projects like that you do every so often?
Well, my project for my term as National Commander is called Warrior Transition, and they are workshops for people with PTSD and other associated problems. And what it amounts to, it's kind of like one-on-one where the people can get together and discuss their problems, whether it be you know, family problems or mental issues like this we had talked about earlier, possibilities of, you know, suicidal thoughts, etc. But I was in New York the middle of November, and we had some of the people that actually went through this transition program. And one of them is a Master Chief Petty Officer, active duty. And he went to this seminar, or this session. It's a 3-day session. And he said he was home for about 3 hours, and his wife said, "You are not the same person that left here 3 days ago." And since then, when he is home on leave, he usually goes back and gets like a refresher course. But he strongly believes in it. But that is my project for the year, and we're hoping that last year we honored the dead at the memorial there at the Arizona, and this year we want to do something to help the living that are coming home with mental anguish and a lot of mental problems. And that's what my project is about.
Where do they hold the workshops? At AMVET posts or?
No, we had one just outside of Fort Drum a few months ago. We're looking at trying to get one somewhere around MacDill Air Force Base, so I can be back in Florida for a while. Mm-hmm. And just throughout the country. We've set one up in the future in California, but they're going to be all around the country.
Now, is this the same people doing the workshops?
Yes.
And they're trained professionals?
Yes, absolutely.
And where did the professionals come from? Are they military people or?
Most of them are. You know, it's kind of hard to get all military people, but there are very professional PhDs. You know, they've got a lot of degrees in matters such as this.
So they're psychologists of some sort.
Yes.
And they're hired by AMVETs to do this?
They actually are a specific organization that we use to put on these seminars.
Oh, so this organization already existed,
right?
And this became your project to have them go out and do these workshops,
right.
I guess, more often. Now, did they do something prior to this as far as the military was concerned, or did they just hire people with traumatic disabilities?
Well, actually, the DOD kind of challenged different organizations to try to help them with these returning veterans with issues. And we happen to be one of them that took the task on, and they're watching the progress on this for future use along with the DOT programs and the veterans programs.
And how would somebody get involved in that? If one of our listeners would like to find out more about this program and maybe they have a family member that...
You can go to ambets.org. That's our national website. And you will see on there warrior transition workshops. And you can do the drop down there, and it gives you all the information, and it gives you our information, how to get in touch with us, and how to also get in touch with us if the person has a family member that they might want to get into this program.
You know, Prince George's County in Maryland has the largest population of veterans
In the state.
in the state, and with 70,000 plus. I hear all kind of figures now. Just 70,000 plus will cover between 70,000 and 80,000. Where would be a good place? Like we have Andrews Air Force Base, we have the Naval Academy, we have Fort Meade. We have three major bases. Would this be a good place?
I would say either the Air Force Base or Fort Meade would be better than Annapolis. But we are looking into different locations here in Maryland.
Now Fort Meade would be good because the Army is really big on Afghanistan and Iraq, in addition with the Marine Corps.
Right.
And as I say, have you thought about checking into maybe doing a workshop up there?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You know, another thing on the same line, I brought an article from Stars and Stripes about a young man that got home from the war. He actually got a medical discharge, but the heading was he left the war, but the war never left him. And I was in Korea in November, and I visited Osan Air Force Base and Camp Humphreys Army Base there, and I had a sit down with the commanding general of all the forces. And they all said that they don't really want it to get out, but there are just about as many suicides of active duty personnel as there is veterans.
There are more suicides than there were killed in Vietnam.
Right.
More
But even the active duty, and I'm not saying it's a cover-up, but it might be listed as an accident where, you know, the person got a weapon and accidentally shot himself.
Well, it makes it easier for the family.
Right.
You know, that's for sure.
How many members do you have nationally about of the...
250, right around 250,000.
Where is your strongest point in the United States? Where would you say the AMVETs have the most numbers?
Ohio is the largest state for AMVETs, and Florida is second. And you speak of population of veterans. I think we are second in the nation in veteran population in Florida. I believe California is number one, but I don't hold me those figures. But
South Carolina and North Carolina are heavy on veterans too.
Right, right.
Where you had installations and people sort of stayed. Here in Maryland, if somebody wanted to join the AMVETs, how would they go about doing it? If you might tell our audience.
You can go online and join, again, under amvets.org, and you can join online just like you can the DAB and the VFW and the American Legion.
We're very happy that the Joint Veterans Committee in Maryland, which represents almost all of the veterans organizations congressionally chartered in this state, we're very honored to have Andy Martell as our chairman. And he's been a tireless worker for veterans for a very, very long time, and a very good person. He's a good representative for your organization. With Andy out front, you really are putting your best foot forward. You know.
Are there any legislative programs, either locally or nationally, that the AMVETS is really pushing behind?
There again, if you go on the website, our legislative director, Diane Zumato, is very active on Capitol Hill. We are backing several issues right now, and I can't name a specific one, but they're all listed on the website.
Now, do you go with the other national commanders when they go to Capitol Hill?
Yes. We will have we will testify on Capitol Hill in front of the Joint Committee on Veterans Affairs probably sometime in March.
I was going to say,
Usually
normally
early
it's in the
March.
spring, isn't it?
Right.
Every year. And do you ever get to visit the president too?
Yes.
Okay.
I was there on Veterans Day no, not Veterans Day. I was in Hawaii. Memorial Day last year. And I was at the White House on Sunday for a Christmas to see all the decorations, etc.
As far as the AMVETs are concerned, are there post homes, or do they typically meet at the posts of other service organizations?
No, most of them. Most of us are from a post home, and we have them all different sizes. We have some with 3,000-4,000 members, and we have some with 2,500, and we have some. In fact, a fellow I was talking to today, he said the 88 members of our post would like to donate $500 to your project for the year. So we have all different sizes. We also have a sons organization. We have a ladies auxiliary, and we have a writers, and we have the sad sacks, which is similar to the cooties and the 40 and 8.
In Prince George's County, where would the post home be here?
They meet at our national headquarters. In fact, Andy Martell is very active in that post.
Okay, so the post home is
Right.
is right there at the national headquarters.
Yeah, right in Maryland, Western Maryland is mostly where a lot of the AMVETs are. There's
Well, Hagerstown and
Frederick.
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 And I can't remember the name, but I was just up there a few weeks ago.
The Cumberland?
No, it seemed like it was like, almost had it. It's two words, Plain, not Plain City, but something similar.
And with your project that you currently have right now, are there some other ongoing support programs you might have for veterans who may not need to be part of the program that you have going on, but other services that you can point veterans to?
We also have career centers where we can put veterans in place or in touch with employers that are looking for people. We have an ongoing list of companies that are looking for employees, especially veterans, and we have these career centers set up all over the country. And it's been very, very active. It's been a very, very good project for us in the job placement, and again, we're signing up a lot more corporations and companies that are looking for employees.
Membership is always the biggest issue that we all have as service organizations. How are you finding, getting new members and getting them to get involved in the AMVETs?
This year has been a good year. We're up in membership, and I believe it's just like everybody else. It's kind of hard to keep the renewals going. But as far as new membership, we are up in new membership, especially in the state of Florida.
Do you push life memberships like the DAV does? DAV only has life members.
Yes, we do. to be quite frank about it, the amount that we charge for dues doesn't even pay for the magazines that we send out. I hate to put it that way, but that's the truth. I mean, it's like one gentleman said, one of the other organizations I wanted to join as a life member, but I didn't want to mortgage my house to do it.
Right.
And you know, it's just like the DAV. I just joined the DAV, and you know, the dues structure, it's very low compared to some of the other organizations.
See, one thing the DAV does, and I say I want to step on any foot, and maybe this will give an idea. We don't have an annual membership program. An annual membership program is a very expensive proposition to keep up with the dues and mailing out renewals and stuff like that. You can sign up for, like as I signed you up for our post, our chapter here, and you can do it with a credit card. You can you know, do it, and it's something some of the major other organizations may want to try to, in order to bring down the you know, the cost of their life membership by doing a life membership program. Become a part life member. You have 3 years to pay it off, and I think it would be very beneficial, and encourage more people to join. You know, the veterans organization. A lot of the younger troops, because of the price, they can't afford it.
No. We have we're branching out a lot to the younger veterans. We've got 2 or 3 things in the works right now that will be about 80% young veterans, and we've just started several new posts all around the country, and I presented a charter to a post down in Portsmouth, Virginia last weekend, 2 weekends ago, and they signed up 10 new members the day that I presented the charter. So I had to bring their charter back so we could add the new members. But I'm excited because, and I'm not saying this bragging, but I'm a doer, and I'm out pushing membership along with all the other projects that I have to do. So I'm looking for an outstanding year this year.
Yeah, we're all looking for new members,
Right.
and we're all trying to find out how people who are successful in bringing in, you know, younger veterans into the organization, so that they can help, you know, give us some ideas about how we can even garner more membership of younger veterans.
Absolutely.
Where is your national convention, Larry? This summer?
This year it will be in Birmingham, Alabama, and I started a department down there when I was National District Commander, and it's doing quite well, the department down there. We had a couple posts that were faltering and some that weren't keeping up to standards, so I took a team down there and we reestablished the good posts and got rid of the bad posts and started several new posts that they're doing a lot for the veterans there in Alabama. In fact, we started a post in Pell City, and they started a new veterans home there, and the first thing our veterans post did was buy a grand piano to put in the lobby of that veterans home.
Now, most of the organizations have service officers.
Yes.
Does the MVES have their service officers that do the same thing like the DAV, Marine Corps League, and VFW do?
Absolutely. We have national service officers throughout the country that are paid for by national AMVETs. So they are salaried people that, again, are paid by national AMVETs. And then we have some that work as service officers out of their posts. But they have to be certified by our national headquarters to be able to even discuss these things with the veterans.
You have a training program for you? Do you have
Yes.
local service officers in your local detachments, chapters?
Well, not within the local posts. but we have them at most of the major veterans units, like Bay Pines. We have 4 people on staff there.
Now,
Bay
one thing
Pines
you
in
might want to
St.
do,
Petersburg.
Commander, is in March, the DAV has a chapter and department service officer certification program that is conducted by the DAV National Service Officer out of Baltimore in conjunction with the VA. And they have to be certified every year. And we have a lot of the VFW and American Legion and Marine Corps League people come to be certified through that. So as I say, there again, if you want more information on that, I can get that for you.
Yeah,
And
that'd
if
be
you want
good.
to have a local, now our post or our chapter service officer, he does a lot of this little groundwork, but everything goes to Baltimore, and where where our national service officer is, they are the one that goes directly to the VA. And in fact, they now have scanners to where they're just about paperless. They scan it, and the VA gets it immediately, which cuts out 3 to 4 months time. Now, do you have a national service officer in Baltimore at the federal building?
I don't believe at the federal building he is. I believe there is one in Hagerstown, and I'm not sure the different ones. I'm familiar with the ones in Florida, but not here yet.
Yeah, because the Purple Heart, the DAV.
If I'm not mistaken, the chairman of our VAVS is involved with the different organizations. In fact, do you go to the training sessions? I believe it's in Daytona now.
Sounds like a good place to be, though,
Yeah.
particularly at this time of year.
Almost any time of the year.
Yeah.
Right.
It was 81 in Naples today, by the way.
Rub it in, rub it in.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's kind of hard to believe, but our 30 minutes is up. And actually, this is our first show for 2015, and as you can see, we have a new set. We want to thank our director, Tom Allen, because he's worked real hard to make us look really good. And you see all this fancy work in the front here. Well, that's a mirage, because it really doesn't exist. We're trying to get them to change our faces, so you never know what's going to happen in the future. We want to thank the National Commander of the AMVETS, Larry Vi, for being our guest today, and we hope you've enjoyed our program. Now we ask you to get involved with your local Bowie veterans by stopping by the American Legion or the DAV. Find out about the programs and benefits that you've earned and for you and your family. And we ask you to stop by at any time and get active with your other local veterans. And again, we want to thank you for watching Veterans Forum, and we hope you have a very happy and healthy 2015.
And I want to add the AMVETS also.